And now, here they are.
Your weekly LGBT ShmuFM.
Well, a very good morning to you. Yes, it's Abba Dabba Do, your weekly LGBT show from ShmuFM. How you doing? It's Abba Dabba Do, your weekly LGBT show. Now, last week I was looking through one of the groups I'm on, the LGBT plus group from RGU. And there's this posting up of a song, and I listened to it, and I quite liked it, and I thought, well, let's see if I can actually drag him on onto Shmu and say hello to us. Nick?
Hiya, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Nick Shane. So the song is called what?
It's called Standing Up for Colour.
And how did it come about?
Well, kind of. I started doing it because I put this post up on Facebook after that Orlando thing happened, saying that basically if you don't like gay rights and you're not a fan of equality, then please don't buy any of my music or don't come in on my gigs or anything like that. And I thought that was a good thing to put, and it turns out that I had lots and lots of homophobic people on my Facebook page, and I kind of backlashed off of that. But it didn't really have anything to do with Orlando. It had more to do with having pride in who you are and who you want to be and who you fall in love with and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, it's 2016, so I don't think people should really be ashamed of who they are anymore. But, you know, the world's still a really horrible place, so... Yeah, so it's kind of still relevant, you know. Yeah,
well, no, exactly. That's why, despite the thought to do it, I still do this radio show just because it's an opportunity to talk about that kind of thing. Because there are some people that that think it doesn't happen nowadays. You know that you don't offend a lot of people on Facebook just by putting, for example, I might be gay.
Yeah.
So in terms of that, is this the first time you've done anything like that?
No, I've got a couple of songs. Like, I'm in a band called the NSA. We've got a song off our first album.
Yeah.
That's kind of related to that. That kind of relates to when I was younger. Like, my mum wasn't very keen on the whole thing, so kind of relates to, you know, basically the same idea as the other song. Just be proud of who you are. It doesn't matter really what kind of who you want to, you know, sleep with. And that kind of thing. So it's because the other songs on our first album were kind of really kind of like the jam, you know, that kind of idea. Not exactly. You wouldn't exactly expect my band to have a relation to that, but we do. So I did that song that was on our first album, and I sent that about as well. I didn't put it in all the groups and stuff, but I sent it to a couple of my pals that were in charge of the LGBT stuff in Fife and Dundee. So yeah, I've done stuff like that before, and I'll probably do it again. You know, it's a good thing to do. You know, it makes you feel like you're part of something.
Well,
you're part of something really good.
Yeah, and I think, you know, with so much, some of the stories that are coming out from my home country. At the moment, the way people are being treated if they're not white-skinned, I think it's deplorable and worries me greatly.
Yeah.
You know, and it's often been said that LGBT rights are human rights, and you know something drops into place behind that usually every time, and that's been. Something that I've watched with an interest. I never thought in my lifetime that I would be allowed to marry another man in the eyes of the law, for example. Yeah. My concern at the moment is that we might lose all of that, but we won't go there.
No. Yeah, it's a shame. Like it, not just because Orlando kind of brought it to light for a lot of people, but people don't seem to realise that in places like Iraq and Nigeria, people are getting killed every day because of it. You know, people are getting burned alive, people are getting hanged, and all this kind of thing. And it's kind of like LGBT almost feels like the kind of forgotten movement. Like black people are fighting for rights in America every day, and that sounds terrible, but that's a popular thing to do. But LGBT is kind of like don't ask, don't tell kind of situation.
Yeah,
Especially in America.
Yeah, although America's a funny place actually. If there's pockets of resistance of forward-thinking people, as opposed to those that appear to get their jollies out of picking on some minority or other. I guess you could call it a mass form of bullying.
Yeah, and they use religion to hide behind it. Like I've got a few pals that are religious, and I love them dearly, and they're not like that. But the other people kind of use religion to hide behind, and it gives them a bad name. Because yesterday, for instance, on ITV News Facebook page, they posted the Gay Pride London with those two cops proposed to each other and stuff, and people were, they were using things to hide behind to cover up homophobia, like saying, some people were saying that the two cops were on duty, it was unprofessional and all that, but if it was a man and a woman cop, then it'd be totally fine. But these people are, I couldn't believe some of the comments I read. It was honestly like, I felt like it was 1985 and I was sitting reading all this nonsense.
The joyous thing about people that think like that is that they're generally, an older generation, so they ain't going to last much longer, hopefully.
Hopefully not, no. It's what they say to their kids and their grandkids, so that kind of keeps that horrible thing alive.
It's getting that messy. It is slowly happening. I mean, things are a lot better now, and I think part of the bravery of a lot of same-sex couples is going to come down to actually walking around hand in hand.
Yeah, I know.
That's what'll make the big difference, and it's difficult. I did it with my last partner, and yes, I got some abuse in the street.
Yeah.
Rather interestingly, we were in Glasgow, and one guy came up to us, and he congratulated us on being brave enough to do it.
Yeah.
Me,
you shouldn't need congratulations though to be who you are.
Well, no, this is what it kind of phased me a bit, because I didn't know how to respond to that, because it's like, no, I don't, I have the same trouble when people compliment me on something I'm wearing, because it's like, it's clothing. It's like, oh, okay, thank you. the same kind of thing, and I think for the next level of acceptance, I think a lot more people are going to have to start taking that brave. It's a wider step out of the closet, I think.
Yeah.
And and in terms of that, that's a big one. I think the first time I sat behind this in this studio and identified myself as a gay man, I was like, oops. I really didn't think the consequences through of it, and it's been actually very liberating, incredibly liberating for me, and I just wish everybody else could feel that level of liberation.
Yeah, I know. I had a bit of a tough time at school as well. Like, I decided to come out, like, as it were, at school, and I thought I didn't think it was so uncool, I read a thing a few years ago. I used to be into the Libertines. Don't ask me why, but I was. And I read a thing about Pete Doherty and saying that Pete Doherty and Carl Barat, the two guys at the Libertines, they actually used to go out together because they're bisexual. So I thought, well, it must be. I was always kind of thinking, since I was 11, I always knew it was a little bit different. And I thought, well, if they can do it, then it must be all right, because at the time they were the coolest things going. So I decided to tell a few friends, and then a few friends told another few friends, and the whole school kind of knew, and it was hell. It was really bad. And I went to a Catholic school in Dundee. Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I got I actually got my mum to the school at one point because I was getting so bullied, and the teachers, they didn't really, the head teacher that we spoke to didn't really take much interest in it, and they kind of didn't have much sympathy for it at all. And another experience in school was this girl in our modern studies class was saying stuff to me, like all these horrible words that I don't really want to repeat on the radio. But another teacher came back in, and I said to him what had happened, like what was going on, and he said to me, "Well, if you were normal, this wouldn't be happening."
Oh.
That was what he said, and that kind of stuck with me, And even when I talk about it. Even when I talk about it now, my palms are absolutely sweating talking about it now. That's how bad I feel about it, and how not bad I feel, but how it like kind of almost uncomfortable. I know it sounds terrible, but almost uncomfortable talking about it to anybody. Even my girlfriend talking about it can be a bit difficult sometimes. But I left school 10 years ago, and a couple of years ago I was driving in my pal's car, and we were going up a street in Dundee, and I saw two guys. They looked about 14 or 15. They were wearing school uniforms, and they were both holding hands. And it just totally took my breath away and stuff. And I've seen it in places like Kirkcaldy and Dunfermline and that as well. I've seen young guys, holding hands, and they don't care. And it's still really, really bad, but it's almost like kids like that nowadays have to take an extra step to be brave, and they don't just have to be good at football or good at playing the guitar to be brave. They have to really kind of push themselves to be who they actually are. And people don't seem to realise that it isn't a choice. It's not a way of life. It's who you are, and it's a terrible state of affairs.
Well, I think it's certainly it's a hell of a lot better than when I was at school.
Yeah,
and I think that's another thing, to watch as it's gone through, is that actually it is getting easier and easier. It's really heartening to hear that there are school kids, two boys walking around hand in hand, and they feel comfortable enough to do it.
Yeah.
So I think for the next generation that will come through, that will be a given, and if hopefully eventually, if we don't suffer some great knockback, because our equality laws are going to have to be rewritten.
Yeah.
And it's certainly something that I would urge everybody to watch. And watch carefully, because the people that will be rewriting them are on the extreme right wings.
Yeah, Donald Trump.
As well, Don't get me started. But back to actually, I've got two songs of yours sitting here in the studio. Which would you rather play?
What two are there?
It's two the same. I beg your pardon. I'll play both of them then. I'll play it twice. Standing Up for Colour. This is the song that you wrote after Orlando.
Yeah, it was a couple of days after Orlando, yeah. Like I said, it was the Orlando thing kind of put the idea into my head, but the realisation of having these people on Facebook, I didn't, homophobia is a thing I got at school, and it's a thing I get, on a night out or something, you would see it, but I didn't think it was so close to home. Like, there was people I had on Facebook that I've had on Facebook for years that, again, were hiding behind these ridiculous reasons for disagreeing with what I wrote on Facebook. So it kind of really, like, it made that kind of happen, sort of thing. And there's one line in the song that does relate to Orlando, and it's bombs and bullets won't change our point of view, and that's just saying that it's time we stopped rising to fear, and time we stopped being scared of who we are and stuff. Because this time 50, 60 years ago, women were they weren't able to vote, and they were struggling with being who they are, and they got accepted. And why can't we sort of thing.
Yeah,
Blacks people as well.
no, every race, creed, and colour. Can people buy this? Is it available online?
Yeah, they can buy it off amazingtunes.com. But like I've always said, if anybody wants the song, then if they could just send my Facebook page a message, and I'll happily send it to them. Because I've never really been a big fan of buying my stuff, because it's like, I do it because I really love it. I go out and work to get money. I don't really do this kind of thing to get money. So if people want to hear my stuff, then they can send me a Facebook message, and I'll send it to them and that. Because I spoke to a guy last night on Facebook, and he's from like Alabama or something like that, and he'd sent me a song that he'd done for Orlando. So I sent my one back to him, kind of thing. I mean, his was like a rap tune or something. It wasn't really my cup of tea, but it was still a good thing.
So, your Facebook page?
Yeah, it's Nick Shane. It's just Facebook/Nick Shane TV.
Nick Shane TV.
TV, yeah, just NICKSHANE TV.
Okay, but Nick, thank you so much for for getting up so ridiculously early on a Sunday.
Oh, that's okay.
And if you're ever up this way, pop in.
Yeah, definitely. I was thinking about coming up to Aberdeen and doing a bit of busking, actually. Because I like busking, and I like Aberdeen as well. Actually, it's really cool. It's actually it's kind of like the Brighton of Scotland, isn't it?
Do you know, that's about the best way I've heard of it being put.
I've always felt that there was loads and loads of gay people in Aberdeen.
I ended up here purely by accident. It just seemed like a very friendly place to go.
Yeah, definitely is, yeah.
Anywho, I shall play this now and speak to you soon.
Yeah, take care. All the best. Thank
Bye
you.
now.
All the best. Bye.
That's Nick Shane, NICKSHANE SHANE TV on Facebook. If you fancy a copy of that, it's going free. What a gentleman. And he may well be in the studio in a couple of weeks' time. We live in hope. In the meantime, what do you fancy hearing next?